All right, we are no. It says starting preview, but usually that means we're live. I bet we are live. I guarantee we are. I guarantee we are live. All right, folks, we're gonna do a little housekeeping real quick. Do share this out for people to join us. In the meantime, let us know in the comments, how was your 4th of July weekend? Did you shoot off all the fireworks? Did you get to visit with any family? What did you get to do? I went and watched the pickleball tournament. And then on Sunday, went and played disc golf in Lawrence with some friends of mine and had a really good time until it got hot, which was immediately when I stepped out of the car.
Huh.
No.
Weird how quickly that happened.
No, we played 9 rounds at, I think it's called 9 holes. I would have died 9 rounds in the heat.
9 rounds.
9 holes at the Archer disc golf course. And then there was next to Bob Mowry. A disc golf course out there, but it was very wooded and it was hot. Sebastian was very hot, and we decided to cut that round short and to go to a brewery and have some burr and some food. It was good food, had a good time, good company. So
I can't hear you in my headphones. That's because they're not plugged in.
Sure enough. What about you, YouTube? You answering me?
YouTube's.
What did you get to do for the 4th of July weekend? We're doing a little setup here. It is hot.
Ooh, I can hear you now. All right. Yeah, what'd you guys do?
Can you hear me?
Derek said got to grill some New York strips.
Oh, gosh, that sounds good.
Noise. All right, let's see here. Matthew says that I look like Jordan Peele from Key and Peele. I've gotten that one before. A-Ray thinks that's true, and he...
Jordan, which one's Jordan Peele is the...
It's the shorter one.
The shorter one.
Yeah.
I've had people send me pictures of the taller one, Key, and said that sometimes I can look like him.
Nice. I mean, we're basically Key and Peele.
We're basically Key and Peele.
And I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, but we're also as successful as they are.
Correct. We have, if you search YouTube for McCall and Brown, you'll find a YouTube channel with lots of comedy skits.
Yes.
Where we can make fun of everybody and everything.
More than likely not by us, though, because we don't have
I wonder what happened if you would plug that in, McCall and Brown.
I don't know. Let's find out.
Everybody plug that in, McCall and Brown.
We're trying to figure out what to name our child. And
don't say him.
I'm not going to say what it is.
Okay.
But
Kevin McCall and Chris Brown.
Nice. McCall Ray, that looks
McCall
like
Ray.
me.
How to contour for round faces.
She does makeup tutorials. That's me.
Oh, Chris Brown reacts to Kevin McCall wanting to fight him.
Wow. Imagine if my name was Kevin. Anyway, and we've always kind of joked about, people who name their child after something that's like not really related to anything, or it's very specifically related to something, but isn't like a stereotypical name. Like when disc golfers name their dogs Heiser. Great, like it's a dog, no problem.
Right.
But I've had people ask if we're going to name our child a disc golf term, and the answer to that is no.
I could see Shay just no.
Well, you should see me doing that too. Like it's just not in the cards. But
I'm assuming you have it at least narrowed down.
Yeah, we've got an idea.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what it is.
No, you can't then, because that makes it weird.
Well, and then somebody would steal it, and then I'd be
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
come on, man.
I mean,
but
they could steal Robert. It's so unique.
They could. If you steal James Robert Jr., then you will have stolen the name. No, but she said it'd be funny if we did Bogey. Okay, so...
Who said that?
Shay. Like, as a joke. Like not only is it a disc golf term, it's a bad disc golf term or a golf term or whatever. So we had a good laugh at that. Also, it made me think of there is an old school like couple called Bogey and McCall.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, like there was a song made about it.
Bogey and McCall, huh?
McCall, yeah. So Bogey and McCall would be pretty close to that.
If I found out you guys were thinking Bogey, I'd be like, do you even like your kid?
Yeah. Do you care about anything? Yeah. So anyway, there we go. Benjamin said, so are you saying Warden McCall is coming soon? Smashbox McCall. Thank you, Johnny V.
Yeah, right.
That's close. Robert, yeah, that's in the running.
Now,
and by in the running, I mean we're not going to name him Robert. Not Robert Jr.
I'm a Robert Jr.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad name. I'm just saying that that's not where.
Did you guys know that Bobby comes from Robert?
Wait,
I'm
what?
actually Robert.
Hold on.
What? Have you ever been called Bobby?
No. Although I was getting my glasses looked at the other day, and they came back in. They weren't exactly what I needed, so we were sending them back or whatever. And on my way out, he was like, "Hey, Bob, you just need to know that it'll probably take a week for these to get back in." And I was like, "Bob, I don't think I've had that one before."
That's weird.
Yeah.
Usually when I say, now that's one of my biggest pet peeves, is when I say my name Bobby and they say Bob, and I want to go.
Yeah, no, but I said Bobby.
Right. I almost want to like chop their name off. So like if their name's Mark, I'd say, "Oh, Ma."
Oh, Ma.
Because I didn't ask you to chop my name in half.
Yeah. So yeah, I prefer Robert. If somebody says Robbie, I'm like,
Robbie. Yeah.
Please don't. Rob is acceptable, but I didn't really choose that one. It just kind of happened when I was a camp counselor for a while, and I just lived with it. And now it's fine. Like there's plenty of people, friends of mine, who call me that, and it's not a big deal.
What about Berto?
Well, that's pretty much you are the only one who calls me that.
Yeah, I made that.
My old boss at our church in Austin called me Roboito, from not Happy Gilmore, not Billy Madison, the Water Boy. Okay. When his dad comes back. Yeah.
Now, okay, so you don't have to tell us.
Oh yeah, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. There you go. I can't remember
that
the
makes
names.
sense.
Harrison McCall.
We're gonna get to disc golf here in a second.
But we haven't even started the show yet.
That's true. We haven't even officially started the show.
Bob Rurt.
So okay, so you have a name or a few names? What do you got?
Headwind McCall.
Oh, jeez, yeah, that would be good.
Annie, Eric, that might be okay. Problem, we're having a boy.
Yeah. So you have one picked out, or you have like a group of names?
Okay, so we've got a leader in the clubhouse,
right? And
then we've got one that we liked before, but now we're kind of leaning toward the leader in the clubhouse, but it's still alive.
Have you called? Okay, so
we've spent a lot of time calling him both.
Okay,
just to feel it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's time, there's those moments when you're together and you're like looking and you're like, "Oh, hey, how are you, Junior?"
Mm-hmm.
And so you say the name and stuff.
Hello, tiny child. That's what I say most of the time.
Oh, okay.
But
so then my question is, do you have a middle name picked out?
See, that it has to go with the first name, right?
That's what I'm saying. Isn't there like a cadence that you have to kind of that people like to follow?
Definitely. Yeah, there's a middle yes. So I think we would like to have it be a name that you could just say like that sounds good together.
Right.
Even though he'll probably go by his first name, probably. Although Shay and I both go by our middle names, so we might do that too. But I don't really know just yet. But we'll see. Joe says Eric is the name. Eric is not in the discussion right now because I don't like any Erics that I've ever met. Lifetime. That's not true. I like lots of Erics. It's just not in the name.
Not just the ones he's met though.
Cade, I have a cousin named Cade. I think that's a good name.
So yeah, isn't it like if you have multiple syllables, then the middle name needs to be single or vice versa?
Yeah, or something like that. Doc says Zach Melton McCall.
That's a weird.
Doc, I can tell you that is at the very bottom of the list. Heiser is before it is Zach Melton McCall.
Heiser, Annie, Bogey is before.
That's all right. That's all right. Anyway.
All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and start this.
Hey, why don't we talk about some stuff? Oh, by the way, this weekend I played in a pickleball tournament and won.
That's right. Yeah, you didn't say what you did for the weekend.
We had a good time. Yeah.
So him and Dixon, you know him from On the Box, played in a pickleball tournament and did really well and won it.
Got him. I also got I guess I should say this on the show because somebody would like to hear a success story. It's not about disc golf, but it is about golf.
Somebody.
Somebody out there is going to be happy that I succeeded.
Like in particular?
No.
Oh, okay. You just
Super Chat McCall. Doc dropped $2 that says Super Chat McCall.
Golly.
Oh, that's fantastic.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to... Yeah, let me start that over. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Disc Golf Answer Man. My name is Bobby. What?
This isn't Disc Golf Hot Takes. Can I just do this, please? Can I just let me take off?
All right, you do it one time.
Okay. I'm going to do my best Bobby impression. Are you ready? Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby CoolDaddySlickBreeze.
And I'm Robert McCall.
No. Flip-flop our voices, please, and then it's correct.
No, we are here.
I've just heard you say that 1,000 times.
Yes.
Anyway.
We are here with episode 321. It is right after 4th of July weekend, and it is hot.
It's
very hot in the studio. The AC is cranking hard, but we're here to talk about some disc golf because that's what you listen for, right?
Yeah.
Is to talk about some disc golf. But before we get into that, I had a great 4th of July weekend. I didn't do a lot of like fireworky stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Fireworky.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I watched the pickleball tournament that Robert and Dixon played in. I did get to play some disc golf in Lawrence, Kansas with some really good friends of mine. That was fun times. And then, I went on a bike ride on Friday night, I think it was.
Okay.
I went on a 10-mile bike ride.
That's awesome.
That was nice. That was good exercise. I about jumped on my skin. I was on a trail out in Flint Hills, and I'm by myself, and I'm really cruising, feeling it. Just, feels good. And I get to a point where there's like a tunnel of just trees, so I can't see. Normally, you can see the Flint Hills from the trail, but at this point, you couldn't see, right? I'm going. I hear this huge rustling of trees. And my immediate thought was a bobcat's going to jump out and kill me.
This is it.
That's right. So I slammed on my brakes. If the bobcat jumps out, you're going to slam. So I stopped them, just out of a reaction, turn around, and there was probably about 20 cows that were taking off running away. Yeah. I was like, nice. Thanks.
Rude cows.
Of course, I shouted a few expletives to them and then continued on my way.
Yeah. The word is actually expletives.
Expletives. What did I say?
But explicitives is actually more descriptive because, that was an explicit term that you said.
There you go.
Explicitives. You're a pioneer.
It's
you know that?
It's the heat. I'm sweating already.
Yeah.
What did you do for the weekend, Robert?
Well, played in the pickleball tournament. That was super fun. Dixon and I went and won that. That was cool. And the team that got second, was in our round robin, and so we got to play them twice, and that was fun. They were good players, good guys, so we had a good time with that. But the funny thing was they brought one very small trophy for a doubles tournament.
Who has it?
Dixon.
Of course.
Hateful. Anyway, so we did that. I played golf on Sunday afternoon, and I got my first eagle of my life.
Woo!
It was on a par 4, kind of a short par 4, but a decent bit of water carry. I hit it through the fairway just out to the right and 85 yards in, just hit a punch just to kind of get on the green. And it was looking pretty. Shay was in the cart with me also. And it was looking pretty good, kind of right at the flag. And I was like, wait, is this going to happen? And then it just hit and dropped. It's like, well, that was cool. Then I had a match play thing that I'm playing at the golf course up there as well. I beat one of my buddies here at work. Sorry, Temp. You hate to see it.
He's not sorry. But
I shot a PR in the meantime. Shot a 77.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. In disc golf news, I was walking by the hot stamp area upstairs. And if you haven't had the chance to get one of the Pro Worlds Ghost Stamp Wardens, they are something special. I nearly bought all of them. I don't even know if we have them right now, but if you haven't got one of those, when you have the opportunity to pick up one of AJ's Wardens, honestly, any of the new Team Series ones look sick. They're oh my goodness, they're so cool. But the new Luke Stedex Chameleon ones, you're going to like that.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's about it. Thank you.
Very cool. Well, we would definitely want to take the opportunity to congratulate Nico Locastro. Oops, spoiler.
Wait. Oh my gosh.
There are no
spoilers.
What is Johnny V on? What does Johnny V say? There are no spoilers. There are no spoilers in sports. So anyway, Nico Locastro won the Disc Golf Pro Tour, the Preserve Championship out in
It was in
Minnesota,
Minnesota.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, Minnesota. Shot amazing rounds every round, just about, right? I mean, he was
back-to-back 15s. Those were 1070 somethings, and then final round 1030, 1035 or 1031 or something like that. But I mean, the cool part, and if you're waiting to watch the coverage to find out exactly how it happened, stop listening for about 15 or 20 seconds. Going into the final hole, Simon Lizotte, Calvin Heimberg, and Nico were all tied at 39 under par. Emerson already in the clubhouse at 39 under par. Hole 18 is a gettable par 5, eagleable par 5. Nico gets the best look at eagle. Calvin hits just low. Simon misses right. Nico buries it from like 20 feet to eagle and win the event. Freaking sick.
So happy for him.
Yeah, it was very cool to watch.
Just cool to watch. Yeah, really cool. All right, so what else we got going on in disc golf news that we should talk about? I think that's about it, right?
For right now, I mean, you've got a pretty cool trip coming up.
Yes, I will be going to Alaska. We fly out Monday evening. But before that, I'm trying to weigh what I'm more excited about, because we're going to be flying out of Kansas City, which is it's going to have to become like a ritual.
Right.
Because they now have a Torchy's Taco in Kansas City. So
by the way, I ate there this weekend.
Yes, you did.
We waited for probably 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And they messed up my order. And it was still fantastic.
So we're going to go, me, Eric, Denise, and Anthony, and Steve-O from Dynamic Disc Carrollton are going to, and I think Doug and Noemi might join us for that too. We're going to go early, have some Torchy's Taco, then hop on a plane and head to Alaska. Again, I'm trying to figure out.
When are you doing that
Which
again?
is more exciting.
What day?
Monday.
Might see you there.
Oh, really?
Probably not, but I would like to. If it was only my choice, then we would be there.
Oh, okay. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to Alaska for the Lake Meyer Classic. It's going to be an amazing disc golf adventure. I'm excited to get out and travel for disc golf. I'm excited to create a disc golf adventure. I've missed producing those. And I'm excited to see Alaska for the first time. So,
heck yeah.
Make sure you're following us on our social media, because me and Anthony will be out there, and we'll be doing plenty of posting of stuff while we're out there. All right, what do you say we get to? Oh, what we got?
Quick question in the chat. It said not going to discuss FPO. No, I mean we want to congratulate winners all the time, and congratulations to Paige Pierce. She dominated. She's an incredible disc golfer. But I mean we celebrate those when they're our sponsored players just a little bit more. So that's why we mentioned Nico. No slight to Paige. I think she's a great player, and I saw that Paige Shue finished inside the top 5. So congratulations to them. We are excited that we had someone on the top of the podium. It was cool.
First question comes from Jordan. On a long hole with a road crossing the fairway and an 8-foot tall gate swung open and locked to a post just inches inbound, my disc came to rest underneath the gate. Felt like a win. Most of my card mates agreed I should get 1 meter relief inbounds on the other side of the gate, but one gentleman, we'll call him Mr. Rules Lawyer, was very adamant that the relief would have to be taken back across the road. I'm finding it difficult to find where in the rule mentions a 1 meter relief. I know my feet have to be touching inbounds when I throw the disc, but am I not allowed to move my marker 1 meter towards the basket? Kind of brought down the mood of the entire card, and then Mr. Rules Lawyer had a similar lie on a later hole without a fence and took 1 meter toward the basket. I reminded him of his exact argument on the previous hole. Thanks so much. I'm also including the caddy book link, hole 3, for reference. Wow, this guy really did his homework, huh?
Yeah, I like it. While you pull that up, okay, so this is as long as you're inbounds, you take your relief.
What hole did he say?
Hole 3. A meter in from where you were out of bounds or touching out of bounds, right? So you get a meter from all out of bounds. So even if that meter is closer to the hole, you still get the relief. Now, You may, just to be super duper safe, if you want to say I'm taking relief no closer to the hole, then you could take it back kind of along the line of play, like backwards a little bit, so you might not have a full relief off of the fence. But I think you should just take it in perpendicularly from where you went out of bounds, and you're good to go. Since your disc was in bounds on that side, you get to move. Yeah, you're in bounds. You get to take your meter relief in.
There you go. Looks like we got a super chat.
Yeah, Matthew sent over $5. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. He said, Robert, do you snap your wrist when putting snake strike style or just open it quickly? I believe there's a slight difference. There's a disc golfer in Houston who's a baller. His name's David Hemline. You know him.
Oh, yeah.
I
haven't seen him in a while.
He's a cool cat. His putt was a lot more of the just kind of open it quickly. I think he talked about like this kind of magic move at the end of a putt called the slip, where the disc is in your hand and all of a sudden it's just like online. He said he named off some people who do it, who he's always been jealous that they could do it. And he said, that's what my putt looks like. So it's not something that I trained to do. It's not like I try to do it, but he thought that it was more of that kind of snap. Now, I don't snap so far open that my wrist is way open, like trying to create a right angle with my hand open, but I try and just keep it pointed toward the basket, almost like my hand is straight open with my forearm.
Yeah. I never noticed that. I have to pay more attention.
Yeah, you ought to pay more attention.
Do you? To you, yeah.
To me.
Yeah. Next one comes.
Thanks for the super chat, man.
Next one comes from Paul. Hey guys, I enjoy your podcast. Well, thank you, Paul. I'm enjoying your question so far. Why does it seem so difficult to know when the pros are playing in tournaments?
I don't enjoy the question anymore.
Yeah,
you jinxed it.
Yeah. Is it because I'm 60 and don't tweet, Instagram, etc.? When I Google or go to the PDJ website, I get flustered trying to find tournament schedules. If we all want to grow the sport, let's make it easier to find recent tournaments to watch. Also, finding all rounds of any one tournament gets difficult with the variety of production companies filming one event. It would be nice, very nice, to have one location for all such information. Any suggestions? I will admit there is some scatteredness to. There is some validity to your veridity. Oh no, that's not. Yeah,
I don't think that's it.
Okay. That's not working. I would say your question is very valid. But the thing is, yes, if you aren't on Instagram, if you aren't on Facebook, you will miss some of the information that happens as far as tournaments, because it's just there's over 2 billion people on Facebook, so people are going to put information out there. You've got, I don't know how many people are on Instagram now, but I'm sure it's probably close to 1 billion. So yeah, that's where a lot of information is going to be out there. PDJ, actually, it's not really that difficult. I mean, if you go to pdg.com, they actually have a schedules tab, or even if you're looking for events and schedules, event schedule and results, there's even a way to search by state and different things like that. So you have to do maybe a little digging, but you should be able to find it. Now, as far as coverage, I have to admit that, you'll get, like, Jomez does one thing, Centrical does one thing, Parsave will do another, Gatekeeper could do another. But a lot of times Disc Golf Pro Tour tries to put on their website, dgpt.com, how to watch or where to watch. And a lot of times that's what we do with Glass One Open. GlassOneOpen.com, we have a page that says, how do you watch? And it lists all the companies and where they're going to post stuff. I think it's just the nature of our sport right now.
Yeah, I agree.
So we don't have the one big network of stuff. There, it'd be cool if we had a place where we could just type in people's name and...
I know where you're going. Oh, my gosh.
Have we told people that story?
I don't know.
Should we?
But if we haven't, I feel like we should.
Okay, so...
one of my favorite staff meeting moments ever.
Okay, so we were talking about URLs and .coms that we own. One of the .coms we owned was, I believe, discgolfvideos.com, right?
No, it was one of the ones that we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
But whatever. That was the URL in question.
Right. That was it, yeah. And so the thinking was, there's really no use for it. And Doug asked, what could be, or something that came up where they used it, and I said it was just a place where people could put.
He was like, look, what if there was a website that had like all this tournament coverage, and you could just type in like Paul Macbeth Disc Golf 2018, and then it would just show like all of the rounds that he has recorded. And we were like, Doug, that's a fantastic idea. But also it's called YouTube.
Yeah.
And then all of us.
Oh, okay. Maybe we're back. Calculating quality. We're good. All right, we should be back. Sorry about that, folks. We would blame that on Danny.
Yes, we will.
All right, so back to the question.
All right, let's see. Well, are we back? Okay, we're good now. Say we're good now.
We back. All right, so he asks, when are we gonna get a disc that is as or even more overstable as a heart, but is as shallow as a suspect? I love the Lucid X suspect, but I would like to have it even more overstable. Robert, I know you're going to suggest the Anvil or Justice.
You're right.
I bag a couple of Justice, once beat up, Lucid one and one Classic Blend one, but they're not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something zone-like. Appreciate what you guys do, and I know you're always working on something. I just wanted my thought to be heard. We hear you, Mr. Personen.
Penyami.
Personen.
Yeah. Okay, so the closest that you're probably going to get for right now is Lucid X Suspect. That's all there is to it. It would be great if the Suspect was a little bit more overstable, in my opinion. But it was made to be not quite a point-and-shoot approach disc, but something right in between a putter and a mid-range. Yeah, just kind of that hybrid approach style disc. If you can find a Lucid X one, those are great, and I think that's probably your best bet. If you're not going to do that, I would get an Anvil. I think the Anvil is as close as we've got to. If you're looking for a zone, I think that's our best comparison. I love the Anvil, even though it's a little bit wider, just because it's so smooth. Like, it's really easy to forehand, easy to backhand, consistent but not huge skip. Come on, man. It's good.
Next one comes from Josh. I'm sure this answer is subjective, but just in case that you have a touring pro on the show, when can you get to this question? I mean, I travel a lot, so I tour. You're a pro-level player, so we can...
Yeah, I think we can handle it.
Are ratings something to play for specifically to improve, or are they just the byproduct of how you play? To clarify, do you know what scores you need to throw at tournaments to improve your rating, and then come ratings update day, you are excited to see where you land, or do they not matter that much once you've reached the top level of play?
Good question. I think if there were touring pros on here, they would tell you that ratings don't really matter to them that much. They would say that, but I think in practice they matter more than people kind of give them credit for.
They're sure upset whenever something doesn't seem to mesh well with their play and their rating they get.
Right. I think at the very, very top, like elite level, when you're talking about shooting a 1090 rated round versus an 1100 rated round, that sucks to be right there and not get 1100 when you absolutely shred it, right? So that is kind of at play for sure. At the same time, I think ratings don't really matter at the pro level because results matter more. You know, if you say, hey, who's the better player between Calvin Heimberg and Chris Dickerson? You can look at their ratings, sure, but there's arguments to be made on both sides. Like, both players are fantastic players. I think you'd probably, instead of looking at their rating, you'd probably look at tournament results to say which one you thought was better. The only time I think that ratings are very important is when you are way up there, like, you know, McPaul. Nice. You're rubbing off on me. Paul Macbeth is rated 1061 right now. That's the highest in the world. That's incredible. So if you're way up there at the top, they probably matter a little bit more. And then if you're under 1,000, I think they matter because a lot of people want to get to kind of that 1,000 rated milestone or 975 or 950 or whatever it is. So that's where I think they matter the most. Touring players don't really care about their ratings. They certainly don't think, hey, if I shoot this, I'll get rated this and that'll move me up. I don't think many sponsorships at the top level are determined by ratings so much as they are results and social media and clinics and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
What if you're 820 rated? Does it matter?
Some.
No.
Okay.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, then no.
Okay. Next one is from Steven. What is par versus distance to the basket? Number one, in looking up courses to play on vacation, I found one course's 450 feet par 4 is another course's par 3. Why they do that?
Hey, why they do that? It depends on the lay of the land. Also, par is very subjective. There are guidelines in the PDGA about distances and the pars that should be assigned to them. I don't think they're followed to the T all the time. And I don't really think it matters that much. I think we try to make the best decision that we can based on the field that's going to play it, based on what, a top professional can do, what an amateur can do, and so on. But at the end of the day, when you get to the end of the course, you just add up the throws that you had. I don't go in and say I shot a 14 under. I would say if it was a par 54, I'd say I shot a 40. That's just, I think that's how it is across the board. So it's a number more than it is. The over and under isn't quite as important as how many throws it takes you to finish the course.
Number 2, what determines par and shorter tee pad helping new players?
There's that PDGA resource for determining what a par should be. And if you Google PDGA par, I don't know, requirements or guidelines or whatever, I promise it'll come up. But I think it's always helpful to have shorter tee pads for newer players just because it makes a more friendly course to play. Like we talk about all the time, Hammond Park is our probably most played course here in town.
Yeah.
And it's the maybe not the shortest, but one of the shortest, probably one of the easiest courses in town. But it's just a good time. Like beginners are out there. If you're kind of coming along and you want to improve your game, you can take just putters out there and work on your approach game. Courses like that are awesome. So having shorter tee pads, I'm always going to promote for sure. Stand Tall Studio says hot takes par 2s. No, I don't think there should be any par 2s in disc golf. Thank you.
Okay, guys. As always, we mentioned the Trilogy challenges that are still going on. This weekend, we have some in Texas, South Dakota, Missouri. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that if you're in that area, you can go play yourself a Trilogy challenge. Get those 3 discs, the Latitude 64 SPZ3, the Dynamic Discs Bounty, and the Westside Discs BT Hybrid Crown.
Yes.
Yep. A lot of people have been asking me on our texting, when can I get my hands on those discs? The way we typically do it is that at the end of the Trilogy challenge, because part of the reason to play the Trilogy challenge is to be able to get those discs. So we wait till the end and then we start releasing those discs for you. So if you want to get your hands on one early, check them out, trilogychallenge.com. Next one comes from Jeremy. Good headwind driver. I have a question about getting a good headwind driver that I absolutely cannot turn over. I'm 14 and can throw 450 feet consistently, 500 on a good throw.
Same.
Sheesh. I live in West Texas, so there are some days that I play that are very windy, up to 30 miles an hour. I need a disc I can crank on and trust it won't turn over. Or trust it to turn over.
I think he was trying to say trust it not to turn over, though. I think he mistyped.
Yeah. I got a criminal recently, too flippy.
Yeah, sounds right.
It just turns over in the wind. Any ideas?
Keep it real, he says. All right, Jeremy.
We about to.
Thank you for submitting your question. I can tell you about the most overstable discs that we have, but I think that's probably not going to solve your problem. What your problem is you are expecting to be able to throw 450 or 500 feet into a 30-mile-an-hour headwind, and that your disc will be able to handle that. That's not how it works. If you're throwing into a headwind, you need a disc up, right? Take more overstable discs, and either not throw it quite as hard so that you can ensure that you have kind of that clean release without wobble, and you need to start it on hyzer. In a 30-mile-an-hour headwind, there's only a few discs on Earth that you can absolutely rip that won't turn over. The 2 of those would be the Lucid X Enforcer and the Opto or Opto X Stiletto. Very, very overstable discs, mostly just made for kind of utility, very super overstable shots. Okay. But if you're having trouble flipping everything over into a headwind, including a criminal, you're probably talking about a form issue more than a disc issue. The Lucid Criminal is pretty darn overstable. It's not quite a Lucid X Enforcer, but it's pretty stable. And there's a good chance that you are having some off-axis torque when you throw. Off-axis torque is, that wobble that you see at the beginning of a throw. And into a headwind, it's even worse because once it's off-axis, it's like, bye, Everything acts more understable in the wind, and if you have some wobble on it, it's going to make it act even more understable. So you can pick up those very overstable discs, and they're probably going to be beneficial to you at some point. But don't throw them into a headwind expecting to get 500 feet, especially if you wobble them over, because that's just not how it works. Thank you. This has been my TED Talk.
Yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This one's from NYQ. Nick?
I think it's just NYQ.
I'm going to
change my name to just 3 letters. But that you can't say phonetically.
BZP. There you go.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, my max driving distance is about 300. I used to arm the disc and my shoulder would get sore after a while. I have since been working on getting my leg power into the disc, but haven't seen much distance improvement. I'm thinking I might still be using my shoulder too much. Do you have any suggestions on how I can ensure my shoulder stays at 90 degrees from my body throughout my throw? Also, if I'm using proper form, which muscle should start feeling sore? Why would you want to feel sore from throwing?
Not just from working hard. I mean, it's like when you go play sports. If you go play basketball for 3 hours, your legs are going to be sore.
Yeah, but if your shoulder's sore from throwing so much, you might be throwing too much.
Yeah, you want to take it easy.
So what do you got for him?
All right, so your shoulder doesn't. I don't think you want it to be at 90 degrees for the entire throw. I think you want it to be at 90 degrees when you're in the power pocket, right? So when you reach back, your shoulders are like pointed almost all the way away from the target, which means that your shoulder is going to be more than 90 degrees, right? Like
you look like that was the first time you saw your shoulder. What?
No, I'm just trying to figure out, like, if you really think that your shoulder has to be at 90 degrees any way that your body turns, then I understand why you're sore, because your arm needs to be able to move a little bit independently of your body, but there's a really important position that you need to get to, and that's kind of that power pocket where your shoulder to your bicep is 90 degrees, and then your bicep to your forearm and wrist and everything is 90 degrees. One good way to ensure that you do that, and I've heard Danny talk about this some, is when you're pulling a disc, especially if you have the tendency to round and lead with your shoulder. A good thing to work on when you're doing that is when you're pulling through, watch the stamp of the disc. Make sure that when you're getting to throw, that you can see the stamp before you throw. Because if you're leading with your shoulder, it's nearly impossible to keep your head back and watch it. It has to get to the power pocket for you to be able to watch the stamp. So that I think is something to.
That's interesting.
That's something to work on. But I'll go with what Bobby said too. Don't practice so long that you're unable to play the next day. Right? You can be a little bit tired. You can be a little bit sore. But if you're injuring yourself, then that's overuse of the muscles that you want to use. I wouldn't play if my elbow was really sore. I've done that for a while, and it took forever to heal because I was an idiot. Same with my shoulder. Like if my muscles are sore, that's a different thing. But joints, I wouldn't mess with. Please don't.
Next one is Jeremy getting sponsored. Hey, DGAM. I'm 14 years old and have been playing since I was 8. I play with 950, 970 rated players quite a bit and can keep up with them consistently and beat them when I'm focused. I don't have a PDJ rating because I don't play enough for it to be worth it. I want to be sponsored, but I live in a small town, so it's hard to put myself out there. Any tips?
Okay, Jeremy, I have a question for you.
Keep putting yourself out there.
No, it's not that. The question is, you said you don't have a PDGA rating because I don't play enough for it to be worth it. So what do you expect from sponsorship? If what you expect is to be paid to play disc golf, that doesn't really happen until the very, very top level. If what you expect is to get free product and promote those on social media and run events and clinics and stuff like that, that sort of thing is possible. But rarely do we offer that to people who don't have a PDGA number. Because you said, I don't have a PDGA rating because I don't play enough for it to be worth it. If it's not worth it for you to have a PDGA rating, it's really hard to justify a company saying it's worth it to give you free stuff in exchange for, your influence, for running events, for things like that. So I would say, if you really want to do that, and I think getting sponsored is a cool goal to have, but if you really want to do that, you need to decide what you're trying to get out of it, and then orient your goals to match that. Okay? If you want to get sponsored and you know that the way to get there is by being active on social media, by playing events, by running clinics, then you need to be doing these things in order to reach the goal that you want to reach. Does that make sense?
Ask not what your sponsors can do for you.
Ask what you.
But what you can do for your sponsors.
Yeah.
Because it's an agreement that you get stuff if you do stuff. It's not just about playing.
Yeah. Sponsorship is a partnership. It's not a one-way thing. It's not that we just send a box and we say, congratulations, now you get free stuff. It's let's work together to build one another's brands, right? We want to help you as a player. We want to help our company. How can we do that together? There you go.
Hi, this is from Josh. Hey, Josh won himself a Lucid Trespass through the virtual GBO tournament, but it's not what I was hoping for. Oh, sorry. 2 of my friends throw Trespasses, and they go nice and flat, 320 feet, or even a bit of a flip. I have a bit more arm speed than them, 350 feet, so 30 feet stronger arm.
Yeah, cool.
But my Trespass is about as overstable as my Felons. Should I try another Trespass, or should I look for something more understable for a straighter distance driver?
Can I read the front of that?
Yeah, that's kind of...
Won a Lucid Trespass through virtual GBO. Okay, I think it's worth asking what plastic Trespasses your friends are throwing. If they're throwing Fusion or Biofusion, there's a chance that they're less overstable than the Lucid ones. But also, if they have maybe flat Lucid ones, they're probably more understable out of the box than a very domey one would be. Also, if they've had their Trespasses for 6 months, they're probably more beat up than yours is. So there are a lot of variables at play. If you get the exact same disc, like 2 of the same discs, same time, and you threw them next to one another, and on average you outdrive them by 30 feet, and theirs flipped a little and yours was really super overstable, then I would say that's extremely curious. But I think there's probably a lot of reasons that this could be happening. The most likely of them is just that you have a brand new, pretty domey Trespass, and yeah, those can be really overstable if you just catch the right one. Really overstable should be in quotes. Overstable for a Trespass.
Yeah. I have a Biofusion Trespass that I have had for the longest time, and that thing is like beat in right where I love it. I really like it. But then I also have a Lucid Trespass that, like Robert said, is a little more overstable. The thing about the Trespass is it's one of those forgotten drivers that are a really good driver.
I agree.
I was playing disc golf with Tina right before DD Open, and it was really nice to play just a casual round with Tina.
Yeah, so fun.
No media in mind. I mean, we talked to media, but there was no filming. There was no tournament. It was just me and her, two friends, just out playing some disc golf. It was really cool. Anyway, we were talked about discs and stuff. She has 4 Trespasses, all different stages of beat in.
Yes.
And she absolutely loves them. So Trespass, if you have not thrown one, you should definitely try one.
Speaking of the Oakleys, I played disc golf with them while they were in town for the DD Open. So much fun.
Yeah.
We filmed it. It'll come out at some point. We've got more pressing projects on the docket right now, but we had a good time. Yeah. I'll tell you that much.
They're good peeps.
Yes.
This one's from Ian. Question. I'm an intermediate 885 rated player and currently throwing the Discmania CD3. And for reference, he says it's a speed 11, glide 5, turn -1, and a fade of 2.
Okay.
As my go-to distance driver, and I'm maxing out at between 350 to 375. However, I'm looking for a distance driver suitable for my arm speed with a step up in stability, mainly for these Texas winds. There's those winds again.
It is. I mean, it's windy down there for sure.
I'm a huge fan of DD as I mostly bag your plastic, and I'm wanting to fill the speed 12-13 slot in my bag. In your opinion, which of the following would be workable, overstable, yet controllable distance driver for my arm speed between the Defender, the Raider, and the Enforcer? Thank you for your time, and keep it so real that even people real that even real people look not real. Let me read that again.
First of all, nailed it.
I know. Thank you for your time and keep it so real that even real people look not real.
Dang.
Wow.
That's
real to the nth degree.
I'm not sure I can keep it that real.
I know.
Okay, Ian, great question. Thanks for sending it in. There are 2 discs that I think you should check out. If you're very comfortable throwing the CD3, then I think you should, if you're looking for a step up in stability in that same speed range, I would check out the Sargent. One of our new discs, it's like an 11.40 something. And it's great. It's a fantastic disc. It bridges the gap between fairway drivers and distance drivers. Probably around the same rim width as the CD3 that you throw right now, just with a little bit more stability. But if you're looking for something at your arm speed that's going to fight the wind a little bit better and be a little bit faster, I mean, the Raider is the answer to that. In terms of overstability, Raider is going to be the least overstable of that group. It's still overstable, but least overstable of that group. Then the Defender, then the Enforcer. The Enforcer is the most overstable. So I think the Raider is a great kind of step-up disc for you to try out. There you go.
I had a thought about the Sargent. Now I forgot. Oh, yeah. If you, obviously, we have redone our Is This Disc Right For You series. And we have me, Eric, and now Anthony. So we have 3 levels of throw. One of the first ones we're going to put out of this reformatted video series has the Sargent in it.
Nice.
So that'd be good for people to learn more about the Sargent.
Very good.
Next one is from Brett. Minimum rating for pro events. Do you think there should be a minimum rating to play pro for all events? There was a 63 throw difference between the first and last place at the DD Open. Thanks for everything.
All pro events, no. I'm in favor of it for Disc Golf Pro Tour NTs and up. Not to take. I don't want to
hurt like the entrance to the income from the entrance fees. Entrance fees.
You're probably just talking about a few people, honestly.
Oh, okay.
And the way that I think about it is like the U.S. Open in golf. I don't know what my handicap is, right around a 10 handicap, cannot go up to the U.S. Open and just say, hey, I would like to play.
Even if you told them about your eagle you just got?
I punched in for eagle on a hole that most guys on the PGA Tour would drive the green regularly on and have easy putts for eagle. So let me play. Has there been a more compelling argument?
I'm sold.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. That's how I view it, is that, and even just to be on the PGA Tour, is that there are certain standards that you have to meet, certain ways that you have to qualify. That's how I view the major events in disc golf. You have to meet a certain ratings threshold in order to play them. And if you think, but what if that person caught fire and won and they were rated, let's say it was 900? It's just the most statistically improbable thing ever. Probably not ever, but close to it. I mean, they would have to shoot, on average, they'd probably have to shoot 15 shots better than their rating every round in order to be in the conversation of winning a tournament like that. That's averaging 1050 rated golf, which a lot of times right now doesn't even win a Pro Tour event, which is crazy to think about in and of itself. So I do like having ratings thresholds so that the quality of the field can be just a little bit higher at those elite events. I'm in favor of that.
All right, next one is from Mike the Sidewinder.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Any comments on the hecklers on the final round of DD Open? Heard Terry talk about it at Hole 9 on the live coverage. I would say we would rather have not had it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what other comments to say.
Those are our thoughts. I wasn't standing right there when that happened. I heard about it after the fact. Yeah, and just a really unfortunate situation. That's about all I can say about it, I think.
This one is from Brett again. I'm flying to Kansas City and go to Torchy's Taco. And traveling over to Emporia for an extended weekend, Thursday through Monday, in August/September. Where are you from?
Nice.
Did he say where he's from? It doesn't say where he's from. Better check your COVID list just before you do it.
Yeah, that's right. We got states that can't come in here, man.
Well, it's states that can't come in here. And then I heard just today, New York announced that Kansas is one of those states that if you're going back to New York, you have to be quarantined for 14 days. I will be playing disc golf all day. I will be playing disc golf all day, every day on this trip. In your opinion, how many days should I stay in Emporia? I was thinking 2 days in Emporia to play Peter Pan, all the Jones courses, excuse me, and the country club, and then 2 days around Kansas City. Does that seem doable? What are must-play courses closer to Kansas City? Again, depending on where you're coming from, I would say that, excuse me, that's very doable. However,
it can take some knocks. It's durable.
However, after playing disc golf this weekend in the middle of the day, be ready to drink lots of water.
Oh, yes.
Lots of water. It gets hot here, but it also gets very humid here. So, yeah, it's very doable, especially if you go to Torchy's Taco.
Can I ask you a question?
That will sustain you, yes.
You say Torchy's Taco every time.
No, here it comes.
But the name of the restaurant is Torchy's Tacos.
Honest
question.
Your name is Robert, yet I call you Berto.
Okay. So it's your own personal nickname for the restaurant.
Correct.
You guys are on that level.
It's my cute little nickname.
Okay. I'm good with it. I just want to double check. I think that's totally possible, and that split is very good. 2 days here is plenty to play Jones East and West, and then like Peter Pan and Country Club on the other day. Although that's going to be a freaking long day. You're going to want to get out and play Country Club early.
That's a long course.
As early as you can.
Rent a cart if you can.
Yes, definitely do that. Yeah, if you do that, then you're good.
Yeah.
But if you have to walk it, it's going to take a little while. Then rest in the afternoon when it's super duper hot outside. Then you can go play Peter Pan later on. Once you go to Kansas City, though, you need to play Waterworks. That's one of my favorite places there. I don't remember if Swope has a new course now, if they took it out or not.
I can't remember.
I know that they took it out originally. I don't know if they have a new one. If you're talking about like courses that have huge tournaments on them, Blue Valley is one of those. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not my favorite course to play. It's huge and has a lot of elevation, but there was a World Championships contested there as one of the courses, so that's a big one. Cliff Drive is that same sort of course, pretty big course, some of it in the woods. That's pretty fun. And then the Waco course is really fun out near Legends, kind of like on the west side of town. Pretty open, but good par 4s, par 5s, fun track. And the last one I would say is right next to the Dynamic Disc Shop. That is Rosedale. And you should play up top, but then you should also play what they call Down Under, which is really super wooded, technical shots. A lot of people say that they like Rosedale, but they love Down Under.
Yeah. And then you obviously pop into the store and say hi.
Yep.
It's interesting that you brought up that I don't say tacos and taco because it does bug me when people say dynamic disc.
Yeah.
And they don't say dynamic discs.
Yes.
Next one is from Lincoln, switching sponsors. Hi, guys. Just wondering how players and sponsors feel about players changing sponsors. Is there any animosity or bad blood? You know we got bad blood.
Copyright.
Oh, sorry.
If you're going to sing it, don't sing it so well. Okay?
Oh, okay. Good point. I'll screw it up next time.
Come on.
Any bad blood between them ever? Please keep it real. P.S. You should do some more mango-colored discs like AJ's in the GOAT Hill Challenge.
Nice. Yeah, the mango discs are pretty ideal.
So it's okay. So I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna keep it real. So there are
yes. Next question.
Yes,
I'm just kidding.
The reason I'm able to keep it real because it just happened recently is that we had some players that changed sponsors from last year to this year, and this was the first time after that. What time period did it happen? It was yeah. So this was actually the first big event, right? Since COVID, did we have a big? No,
it was the first big event since COVID, but there were others before that. We just weren't.
Weren't there. That's correct. We didn't go, but this one had some players that we had. They had been sponsored by us, and now we're not sponsored by other manufacturers. And I will admit, at first it was kind of odd. Now, of course, the whole dark cloud of COVID was there, so that was kind of an odd thing of how I wasn't hugging people. I was doing air high fives and stuff like that. But it was kind of odd seeing them, and I thought, you know what? I miss people. So it's almost like COVID kind of helped that situation in that I don't care who you're manufactured by. I miss seeing you. and saying hi and catching up with your lives like I normally would be able to while going to big tournaments and traveling. So I just got over it and thought, you know what, these people, and then there's all kinds of things happening in my head right now, especially with Nico has been really the catalyst for this because he's such a part of my life now in the media life because he's back here. I made a post on my Instagram about full circle in that, 10 years ago I was doing stuff with Nico when we were an apparel sponsor. And I was doing videos with him and things like that. And now I'm doing it again, and it's just made me be very reflective or looking back at things. So anyway, my point was, these people are people. Mm-hmm. They are doing what's best for them, and we try to do what's best for our brand in a sense. And so I got to just say, you got to do you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I saw a few people around this last week. Not everybody who isn't on our team anymore, but I saw Paige Pierce at the skins thing. I didn't see her much during the week, just because we had some other stuff going on. But and I mean, we weren't able to talk too much because they had the skins thing going on, and they were pretty focused in. But when she saw me after the first hole, she turned around. Shay and I are expecting. She turned around and said, "Congratulations, that's so cool." And we couldn't talk about it a whole lot, but it was great. I mean, I think Paige is an awesome person, and I'm sad that she left our company, but she's doing what's best for her, and she's performing really well. And so, far be it from us to hold that against her, have ill will against her. I think she's doing well. Same goes for Missy Gannon. I saw her just walking by, just said, "Hey, what's going on? How are things? Good luck this weekend," that sort of stuff. Saw Dustin Keegan. I see Drew Gibson may talk to me more now than when he was sponsored, but I don't really know. No, I'm just kidding. Drew's a character, but he's been nothing but nice to me all the time. So I would say across the board, not a lot of animosity. I don't know if there's much more to say about it. I'm happy for those people. I'm happy with where we're at. It's hard because it's business, but it's still people. Right. Like sometimes we have to make business decisions that suck, and other people make business decisions that feel bad to us as well. Right. But at the end of the day, like just because like Paige doesn't have our name on her back doesn't mean that I think she's a terrible person. I want her to succeed because she's a good person. Yeah. So that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I posted this on Facebook as well. It was kind of an interesting little story. I was taking pictures for Disc Golf Pro Tour and PDJ, so I was taking some pictures of the top cards, and Paige and Missy, and then Paige Sue was on the top card. So I was taking pictures of Paige Pierce and Paige Sue and Missy, and I think at the time it was Rebecca Cox was on the card.
Yeah, sure.
So normally I only take pictures of our players, but I was taking pictures of other people. So I started taking pictures of Missy, and she saw that I was taking pictures of her, this was cool. And she kind of like stopped, and it was kind of a thing. And then when I put my lens down, she goes, "I remember not to smile," because it was always something because Missy is just full of smiles. She has such an infectious smile, and just a nice person to be around. And so there are times when I was taking pictures of her, and I would say, "Missy, don't always smile because I want to get that serious, emotional look." And so we would joke whenever I'd see her, and I would take a few pictures. And then as soon as I put the lens down, she'd have a big old smile. She's like she had to get it out of her, that smile.
She's funny.
Anyway, so it was kind of, again, it was one of those moments that's like, oh, yeah, that's right. We've connected on another level other than manufacturer and player. We've connected on a human level. And I shouldn't forget that. I should never forget that. Nobody should ever forget that, is that if you make a connection on a human level, then the other things should not matter.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's move on to the next question. We got time for a couple more.
Yeah, we do. Hey, before the next question, though, I got something to talk about.
Oh, yes.
And it's called the squad.
Come on.
Listen here. We introduced the Dynamic Disc Squad last Tuesday specifically. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to keep it real. The response has been overwhelming.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah. I mean, exceeded our expectations by far. So many people are getting in there and completing challenges, sharing about it on social media, doing testimonials for us. Some of the Like we were just looking at some listings today just so I could show some examples to people around here at the office. And the pictures y'all are sending in and the reviews that you're leaving for us are fantastic. Like, oh my goodness, it's been so great. So if you haven't joined the squad already, go to dynamicdiscs.com/squad. You can join there for free, knock out some challenges, and you can get some free stuff. And there's a lot of people who are asking for more challenges right now. I've got a couple of new ones in the pipeline, but I'm still brainstorming on what else I think would be good for you guys to do and would be beneficial for us. And so once I've got that, I promise you'll hear about it. There's a couple of other ideas around the squad that I'm not really ready to share yet, but I think, hey, this would be really cool if we did this. So yeah, I'll be in touch on that.
Yeah, that idea we talked about, that I brought up, I think is a really cool idea. That'd be very beneficial and
for sure.
Some good stuff. All right, next one's from JD, relief from obstacle.
By the way, you guys will never guess what it is. The idea.
Yeah, never. In a tournament I played last weekend, there was a hole that played up a huge hill. An opponent threw his tee shot about halfway up the hill. Before throwing his second shot, he declared that he was going to take relief from the hill and move backwards on the line of play to the flat ground at the bottom of the hill so that his footing would be better. Can he do this? Oh, no, he didn't put it that way. Can he do this? If so, what keeps someone who throws into a bush to move backward on the line or back on the line and throw an unobstructed second shot?
Yeah, sure, you can do that. I mean, what I usually do all the time is I'll throw up kind of, close-ish to the basket. And then I'm like, you know what? I'd like to be closer to the basket. So I'm going to go closer and play from there.
And you have to declare it, right?
Yeah. Now, you can't just say it. You have to declare
it, right. Close to the basket.
I declare bankruptcy. You can't just say the word bankrupt. Anyway. No, you can't do that. Of course not.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No. Okay, so there's a couple of situations where you can take relief back from an obstacle.
I like my line.
Or an OB. Yeah. If you don't like where it lands, you feel free. No. If you go out of bounds.
Oh, what a relief.
Oh, wow, this is great. Look how much better it is to throw from over here.
I'm so relieved.
Oh, wow. If you go out of bounds, you can take relief back on the line of play, which is the line from where your disc is to the basket. You can take relief back on the line of play infinity. So you can go as far back as you want to, which is great. There is also something in the rules about taking relief from a dangerous obstacle like cactus, or some places might have it for like a beehive, or if there's a barbed wire fence or something like that. There's special exceptions for something like that. Now, if you just throw into a spot that you don't want to throw from, your options are to play from that spot or play from your previous lie with a stroke penalty. There's not an in-between option. You can't just back up and play from where you want to. So the guy we're talking about here, he could have played from the lie or gone back to the tee and re-teed throwing 3. So if he wants a better lie, there's no better one than the tee box, but you're going to pay a stroke to throw from it.
There you go.
Hey, by the way, I didn't hit this golf shot right where I wanted, so I just went and put it on the green. Decided I was going to play from there.
But did you declare relief?
See, at the time I didn't. I messed up the rules.
Yes, that's where you're wrong.
Unreal, man. Hey, I don't want to play from here. I'm going to play from back here. Come on, man. Yeah, I know this.
Paige Pierce's putting lead up. Has Paige Pierce ever discussed why she lifts her putter above her head and then does that little tilt move prior to putting? Every time I see her do that, I'm dying to know the reason. So, of course, I go straight to my DGAM fan because I know they have all the answers. You do have the answers, right, guys? No, we don't have all the answers, but this particular one, because she has, I've heard it answered quite a few times from her.
Go ahead.
We do know the answer. So, I believe this is, after I say that, I believe this is correct, is that because she used to, it was just kind of her, I don't know if you want to say ritual or way of doing things. She would flip the disc up in the air, and then she became conscious that she might actually drop the disc, and that might be counted as a stroke. So now she just puts it up, and then she goes for it.
Okay. So that's almost it.
It's almost there.
Okay, so yeah, she wants to get the feel of like a follow through. So she just does it right above her head so that it's like, all right, this is what I want the disc to feel like, and then she putts. So yeah, it's emulating a follow through without actually letting the disc go.
And now you know the rest of the story.
So Chaser's got a question here. He says, couldn't he also move back along the line of play with a stroke penalty? I believe that's the case. I was just trying to find it on the PDJ because I know I've heard something about that, but you just don't ever really see it happen. So I couldn't find it within just this little bit of time. But I know that 100% you can't just back up and throw a second shot, like with no penalty.
All right, so we're going to end this episode with a question from the Silky Panda. Introduction to disc golf. How were you all introduced to disc golf the first time, and what was the first disc you remember buying and throwing? So I was introduced to disc golf by my friend Jeremy Taylor and his dad Jim Taylor. Jim owned the land out in Pawhuska, Oklahoma, where now Avery Jenkins now lives. He's married to Leah Jenkins, who is Jeremy Taylor's sister. Anyway, so they wanted me to do some website work and some other type work for a disc golf tournament they were going to have on Jim Taylor's land, the lodge at Taylor Ranch. And so I did that for them, and then I decided to do some photography and video work for the tournament and found out that there was some lacking as far as media. And so Jeremy Taylor invited me out to play some disc golf, and he invited me to play disc golf right after I'd ran a 5K, and I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. I could never get the discs to do anything except go straight up and down. But I wanted to do some video work, and so that's how I got introduced to disc golf. Oh, the first, I hadn't bought a disc because that's how people were paying me, is by discs. And, of course, I tell the story. One of my first discs that was given to me for payment was a Innova Champion Groove. Of course, one of the most despised discs in existence was one of my first discs. I really liked it. I thought it was cool with that little groove in there.
Yeah.
What about you, Roberto?
First time I learned about disc golf, some friends of mine had gone and played Am World Doubles Championships. At the time, we thought that was like the world championship, so like that they were the world champions at doubles disc golf. I found out later it was in the intermediate field that they won in. But so they were in high school. I went and played with them once or twice, not a whole lot. When I started playing was in college. I'd always enjoyed throwing a Frisbee, like just an ultimate Frisbee round, played ultimate with friends and stuff. But a friend of mine asked if I wanted to go play disc golf. I said, sure, I'll beat you at it for sure. Cause I'm really competitive and also stupid. And so we went out, he beat me by like 20. I mean, just absolutely smoked me. And I told him at the time, I don't care about this stupid sport. I only care about beating you. So I'm going to keep doing this until I can beat you. It really started out of immense competitiveness.
It sort of sounds like a sickness.
Yeah, it's not my best moment. But anyway, but after a while, I really started enjoying it. The first disc that I bought, or the one that I have the most vivid memory of, is a Champion Valkyrie, and it's the one that I learned to throw super straight with, like, I don't know, 240 feet or so. I could hyzer it just a little, and it would stand up just straight, and it was like, hey, crushed it. Smoked that shot.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning into our episode 321 of the Disc Golf Answer Man. We appreciate you sending all those questions in. One last thing, if you want to get on our text and put me in your phone book, text us at 620-321. Nope.
312-3225.
There it is, 312-3225. Put in that 620 at the beginning. If you want to know when we put out Disc Golf Answer Man, text me DGAM. If you want to know about new releases, also include the hashtag new release is.
Yeah, that's it.
And we put on that community where you'll get information about that. But yeah, first message will be an automated message. Then after that, it comes straight from me. So yeah, put me in your phone book. Squad.com. Nope. dynamicdisc.com/squad. Find out more information. If you're already a person that takes photos and posts a lot of stuff about disc golf, why not earn some free stuff?
Get paid?
Yeah, get paid for it. So go to dynamicdisc.com/squad to get more information about that and join our squad.
Yeah.
Trilogy Challenges, trilogychallenge.com. Find out what's happening near you. I believe there's still time for you to order some player packs so that you can actually host a Trilogy Challenge event. So if your area is opening up and allowing for events, that's a fun way to get people out in your disc golf community, get some new people trying out disc golf. A lot of new people trying out disc golf. So put the word out, and I bet you'll get some people that want to come try it out. Anyway, guys, thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
All right, YouTubers.
I feel, Bobby, like we should hot take today.
Do you have one?
No, but I want to find one just so we can have a hoedown, throwdown argument.
We need to have Danny think of one, and then you and I argue over it.
Danny. He's locked in.
He is locked in. What did they call it on Facebook?
Wired in?
Yeah, wired in.
Hey, Danny. Danny. Can you come up with a hot take in like the next couple of minutes? Probably not one from the list because most of them are rough at this point. But if you find a good one, that's good. Okay. And then just drop it on us because we're ready to throw down.
Make it about anything.
Yeah. Any topic.
Okay. So you want specifically one that is not disc golf related?
Yeah. All right.
Okay. We'll try it. See what happens.
Caden says we'll basket. My man. Okay, YouTube. So hang around for a second.
Wasket.
Oh yeah, let me look.
We got any questions on YouTube?
A couple of people have sent these over to me, so give me just a second. I forgot.
Sent what over to you?
Hot take suggestions.
Oh yeah, take a look at the hot take suggestions. I should probably pull up YouTube too, so I can see what people talking about on the YouTubes. Bear with us, guys, as we transition over to.
A little heavy on
Stop it. Oh wait, I want to be on my Uncle Bobby Jr.
Chaser, I like that one. I'm not sure that this is the week for it, but I like it. Sam says, watching pros throw their drives, there's usually an audible snap. I understand the power grip, but are they letting the disc rip out of their hands instead of opening up their hand when they drive? Sam, yes. That is the ideal way to throw a distance drive. You don't want to have to time the opening of your hand. You want the speed that you're accelerating with to pull the disc out of your hand.
I agree with you, Darby. I don't know why Robert hates the mixer effects. He has always been a thief of joy. He tries every day to steal my joy. He figures out ways to do it, and this is just one way of doing it during this hour.
The most recent is asking why you say Torchy's Taco instead of Torchy's Tacos.
Right.
Do you...
The good thing is it doesn't change the taste of Torchy's.
No, it's still fantastic. Do you remember a movie with Steve Carell, Dane Cook? It was a serious Steve Carell movie. Oh, man.
I don't know.
I'm going to find it in a second. But one of the daughters is trying to date this guy, and she says it's serious. And then Steve Carell, the dad, is like, no, it's not. It's just teenage love or whatever. She gets pissed. And she screams at him terribly. You are a murderer of love.
Golly.
And that's what I thought about when you said that just now. I'm a murderer of fun. Get him out of here.
I want to hear you beat up Bobby with that one. Which one, Chaser? I'm not sure you're talking about.
I'm eager to hear you take an extra.
Darby says Dan in real life.
Dan in real life, thank you. And by the way, a fantastic movie.
I messaged you on what it is.
Okay, hold please.
Wait, we can't. He can't know what it is before me.
I can.
You always know before him.
I don't always. When it's mine, I guess I do. Whenever it's the
I want Robert to take the side that I posited in the message.
Okay, so I shouldn't look at it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's a better way to phrase it. But.
Right. Okay. So you want me to argue what, like your side?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind
way too easy to argue against.
Yeah, that's going to be hard because I want to argue the other, but I'm good with it.
What if I'm not good at arguing it?
You'll be fine at this one. I think.
It is unfortunately disc golf related.
Yeah, that's okay. It's totally fine.
All right, here we go. We're gonna record. Hey everybody, welcome to an episode of Disc Golf Audio. Nope. Dang it! Welcome to Disc Golf Hot Takes, where we argue in the heat because it is hot
It is
today.
so hot in here right now.
Yes. All right, so we didn't come up with a hot take pre-show other than we asked Danny to create one, and he sent it to Robert,
Yeah.
and Robert is now going to reveal it to me and see what my take is on it.
Okay, I like this. But I'm gonna take my side. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna read it.
What if I agree with
I'm gonna read
your
it and
side?
let you take your side.
There you go. Read it and I'll take my side.
Okay, are you ready?
And it's disc golf related, right? You
It is
ended up-
disc golf related. Okay,
Here we go.
are you ready?
I guess.
We've seen a lot of disc golfers on the course.
I disagree.
Get-
Oh, no, we have seen. Okay, yeah.
Get frustrated,
Disc. Okay, yep.
miss a putt, throw a bad shot, whatever. The hot take is this: that the people who call out disc golfers that get frustrated on the course have never played disc golf for real money. So you should be allowed to have emotions while you're playing for money.
What point am I arguing?
That, okay,
The point that you should be allowed to show emotions?
or that it's better for us if you are more professional. I guess that those are the opposite sides. You know what? We'll do it this way.
Okay.
Let's call this the Nico LaCastro versus Calvin Heimberg debate. Okay.
The guy who at the DD Open shot 10 down and jumped from second, and you would never jump to second. You would never have known from his demeanor.
Yeah, it kind of looked as if he was just like sitting in a recliner.
I know. Watching some show that you watch just for background noise.
Right. Okay, so let's phrase it that way. On one side, we have Nico LaCastro. Emotions on the sleeve. High energy when a good shot happens. Kind of crazy when a bad shot happens.
Yeah.
On the other side, Calvin Heimberg, pretty even keel. Which do you think? No, not which do you think? Which would you prefer that we see more of in disc golf?
Oh God, that's
It's a hard one. It's a really hard one.
I don't know if this will answer your question, but
Do you want more Nikos or more Calvins? Because I'm ready to go.
I would say that my opinion probably has morphed or changed a bit. I would say I'm good with more Nikos.
Okay, tell me about it.
Because I know that there's the argument these people make a living and this is what they do for your job. So different. Nico is Nico, and I even put on a post that I put on Instagram, like his style or not, you can't deny his passion for disc golf, his love for the sport.
Yeah, sure.
Right? If it just happens that his personality is that has outbursts, I get that.
Okay.
Do I like, though, that... Now, this could be... Do I like that he shouts cuss words?
Okay.
Not particularly, especially if there are young kids around, because I just don't think that's something that young kids need to be exposed to.
Sure.
But it's not the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
When we see big sports and they do stuff like that, we say, he's getting after it.
Right.
Why are we so picky with disc golf? Is it because we're vested a little bit because we actually play the sport and we want to see the sport to grow? I don't think it'll hinder the sport. Like I used to think it would hinder the sport. I don't think it's going to hinder the sport. I don't think... Now, Now, if he's like running up to the basket and kicking it and knocking it down and or punching people or shouldering people and stuff like that, yes. But if he's going to have his little outburst and then move on, as long as he moves on and then plays the game and doesn't disrupt anything. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're just saying now that because he's West Side. No, I'm saying this now because I think the sport is maturing in a sense that I think we can handle it.
Yeah, okay. I can dig that. And I think kind of along your side too, we've talked about a lot of people have talked about disc golf needs an anti-hero, right?
Yeah.
They need a villain. And some people are like, yeah, Drew Gibson is that because he speaks his mind. But honestly, I think Nico might be our anti-hero in that he succeeds. He's a top-level player. He's someone that you either love or hate. There's not a whole lot of middle ground. Maybe not hate. That might be a little bit strong. But there's some people that are diehard Nico fans, and then some people that are just not interested in what he's got going on. So along that side, I understand the need for an anti-hero. Let me tell you who some of my favorite athletes are, okay? And some of the people that I respect most in sports. David Robinson comes to mind. He's a basketball player for the San Antonio Spurs for nearly his entire career. And he, fierce competitor, great scorer, great defender, great team player. If the team was playing well, that's cool. Looks good. If the team's playing poorly, that's all right. Even keel. Same goes for Tim Duncan, who I think he's probably already like that, but David Robinson kind of brought him into that sort of way of thinking, where even a competitor of one of those guys, if they lose to them, like they can be upset that they got outplayed, but they can't be upset at the person that did it, right? I can't be mad if Tim Duncan turned around and hit his seventh little lefty bank shot of the night in my face because he's good, like
right.
And he's not going to tell me about it. He's just going to show me. I've always respected people who let their play do the talking for them.
Right.
Another person who did that, and this is one of my favorite memories, is playing tournaments in Texas and watching Giggler. All right, Donald Ellsworth. He's a former Team DGAM member. Great guy. I really love Donald. If Donald is shooting 1 under or 10 under or 10 over, he is exactly the same. He's always giggling. He's always having a good time. He's always messing with his card mates. And I think that makes a better experience for everybody there. So whether he's playing well or not is irrelevant to his attitude. I have a great deal of respect for somebody who can quiet their emotions, even in the midst of adversity, and perform. And if they play well, cool. And if they don't, cool. They're going to be kind of even keel. I love watching Calvin play, because he's like a silent killer. He's got incredible distance, one of the most talented disc golfers out there, but you're not going to hear him say a word about it unless you ask him about it. Otherwise, he's just steady.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I like that too. I guess the hot take or the question is which would I prefer? Was it I prefer? I don't know that I prefer one over the other. Someone in the comments said something about but Nico's outburst disrupts other players. I don't think he's ever directed his outburst toward anybody. Now, I can't say, I don't know. I obviously have never, I don't obviously walk around with Nico every day, every time he plays. So I don't know if he's ever directed it at someone.
Yeah.
But I would say that if it bothers you, I get it. I get that if you're on a card, you know, I've been around players when they look at a card, they're like, oh, yes, I'm with such and such. That's going to be a great round. Right. Or they look and they're like, oh, great.
Yeah.
I get that, and that's just the nature of the beast as far as our sport. But it is your job, and I believe this was mentioned too, it's your job as a player to adjust or work around that. It is what it is. Either just stay away or just make sure that you're in the mindset that you can play even if you have someone blowing up. And now if they do become so disruptive that they are disrupting play, then it's on you also to call them out on it.
Sure.
And I think I've heard that. I think I've been on a card where someone shouted an F word or two or something, and someone else said, "Hey, there's no need for that," or something like that, because in my mind, it was their way of kind of giving them a warning, but not specifically saying a warning, but saying, "Hey, dude, there's no need for this shouting and stuff like that." So.
Right. Okay, so here's a comment from the chat. Eric says, Nico can't help it. It's his spirit. I hear that. I hear that people have tendencies and they have, certain, I guess, personality traits. But when that starts to mess with other people in a way that's like outside of the rules, like you can't call a courtesy violation on somebody necessarily for all of these things, then I think you should have a little bit more control over your emotions. At least your ability to handle that on your own, right? That's what I think. Now, Danny sent this in the chat a second ago. He said, if you were at your job and you made a mistake that cost you thousands of dollars, wouldn't you be upset? That's 100% totally fair. But on that same note, that doesn't mean that I'm going to walk into my boss's office and yell about it a lot. If I did, I might not have a job anymore, right? Disc golf doesn't have a boss necessarily, but kind of the boss is the fans in the way that they watch people interact. Like that's kind of what drives your popularity. It doesn't drive your play at all, but things outside of disc golf, it can really, I think that it can affect that a lot.
Right.
I don't know, man. This is a good one. I think it's tricky.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating Nico's outburst. I'm not saying every time Nico has an outburst, I'm like, oh, cool, Nico yelled.
We're saying Nico, but anybody. Somebody said Bradley Williams.
Right, anybody.
Bradley's had famous outbursts.
I'm not saying that we should have everybody just having hissy fits out on the course. I'm saying that, in my opinion, I'm not as harsh in my mind when I see something like that.
Mm-hmm. So you would say, all right, we're about to be on CBS Sports Network in a month or so, something like that. Maybe a little bit longer, who knows? But it's coming. That's going to happen. For the sake of TV and for the sake of people getting invested in disc golf, you would prefer to have more people who are high emotion than who are silent killers. This is not a leading question. I'm asking if that's what you'd prefer.
No, there's not really a prefer. I think we need both so that we have the people that like the silent killers, the super focused guy, but then we have some people that are like, I like this guy because this guy shows his emotions.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know that I can say I prefer. Now, would I prefer him not drop F-bombs on CBS? Of course I wouldn't prefer that. Now, I'm not going to look at it and go, oh, great, the sport is not going to grow. The sport's not going to grow. That's going to halt this. It's just going to make the people that would not like it say, well, that's not very nice of him.
Right.
And then you're going to be the people that probably drop F-bombs as part of their normal talking or be like, yeah, this dude jams. This dude gets it. You know what I'm saying?
I like this dude jams. That's really good. I hear you for sure.
And that might sound wishy-washy, but
I understand it.
I'm starting to learn that you can't. I mean, we've said it before. You can't please everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
You're never going to please everybody.
That's true. Can we say what we actually think?
Yeah.
I would love to have more people like Nico.
Yeah.
I don't, like you said, I don't love the cursing. I think that's rough for TV and for our public image. But at the same time, like, I don't know, go watch a golf broadcast, go watch a basketball game. They're good with the bleep button on that. Just because those sports have been around longer, it's a little bit more widely accepted. But I love having people like Nico and people like Bradley and people like Drew and people that show emotion on the course that are fan favorites that fans don't like, anywhere in the middle, because it's exactly like you said. Disc golf needs characters.
Yeah.
And this is an argument you can't really win because both of the people that we just talked about are characters in their own right. Like if you know Calvin, you know he's one of the funniest guys out there. But when he gets to the course, it's about business. And he takes care of business, and it's fantastic to watch. If you spent time with Nico off the course, Nico's a fun dude. He's chill. Like we can chat about whatever, and he's a cool guy. And then when he gets on the course, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and it makes for interesting TV. And I think the more that we have of that just creates more of a compelling storyline.
I mean, if we want to go way meta, it's just you got to have, like you said, the different characters for the different people, the different demographics to cling to and to cheer for. And so, you know, the whole you either love them or you hate them, that is actually having a polarizing view.
Yeah.
Actually has proven to be a good thing, because you have people that if they hate you, then they want to hate you.
Right.
They want to see it. They're
they're rooting against you.
Yeah, miss it.
But
so
that
I can
means they're watching.
Right. You miss it, so I can see that outburst.
Yes.
And then you have the people that love him, that if he does really well, it's like, yeah, Mojo.
Yeah. Well, like, so Tim in the chat said Nico's Albatross celebration in 2019 at the USDGC was awesome. Yes, that was one of the coolest things. And, okay, that made a huge disc golf video out of that, because John Boy Media covered that. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but he says, title of the video, comma, a breakdown. And he just talks about stuff in sports in a funny sort of way. And he's done that with disc golf several times. And if Nico just hits it in two, let's say it's Calvin. Calvin hits that shot in two. You're probably going to see him pick up his mini and be like, maybe a little fist pump. Which is kind of crazy to imagine that you just hit a par 5 and 2. But when Nico hit it, raw emotion, running around, throwing his hat, parkouring off trees. We need that. We need more characters so that we can build a diverse cast. That when people are watching, if you want to root for this sort of person, you can. If you want to root for this sort of person, they exist. If this guy's playing well, you can learn his story and see if that's somebody you want to support. So, I like it. I'm about it.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys. So much, guys, for tuning in for this Disc Golf Hot Take. It was a little different, but still good stuff to talk about.
But we out here.
We'll see you next week on the next one.
Yeah, sorry, there wasn't really a defined hot take there.
No, but it's cool. It went with it. Hey, if you're still in the YouTube chat, On the Call is back. I don't know if you guys listened to... I forgot to say this earlier. I'm sorry. But On the Call is back. I don't know if you guys listened to the discussion that I had with Paul Macbeth. I enjoyed it. I think it was really cool to kind of dive into his state of mind when he's preparing for tournaments, when he's playing tournaments, and just kind of like I don't know, like it made me think of Kobe Bryant and like Mamba mentality. That
Mamba number 5?
No, Mamba.
Oh.
That like I'm here to compete. I'm here to win. If I go out and execute how I want to, nobody's going to beat me. I loved it. I loved hearing about it. This week I have Nico LaCastro scheduled to be on.
Oh, did you get all of them?
On the call? Yep.
Cool.
The plan is to record that a little bit later this week. It won't be a full-on episode because we did one of those earlier, but more just talking about kind of what he was feeling and thinking in the moments at the Preserve Championship this last weekend. I've got a few more people on the docket that I'm really excited to get on. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but I think you're going to really enjoy those conversations. So if you haven't done so already, go to Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you consume podcasts, and look up Disc Golf Audio. So you're not just listening to Disc Golf Answer Man, but you're catching Disc Golf Hot Takes and On the Call as well. Doc Zen says, when will Bobby be on the show?
When I win a Pro Tour. So pretty soon.
Bobby, tell me what you were thinking right before you pressed record on Disc Golf Answer Man today. What was your mindset?
My thinking it was hot.
Okay, yep, I agree with that.
And that I was mad that we needed to turn the fan off because of the sound.
Yeah.
But I knew it had to be done.
That's right.
And the show must go on.
So I'm saying fighting through adversity, listeners. If you haven't learned anything from today, adversity. It's what we fight through, and that's what makes us better disc golfers. Thanks for joining us for On the Call this week.
Yes. I wish I had the music set up already.
Yeah.
All right. So we got anything we need to talk about on the YouTube?
No, I think we're good to go.
We're good.
I got to run over to the retail store because we got some new employees, and I'm going to talk to them about learning a little bit more about discs and telling people about them.
Nice.
It's going to be fun.
That should be fun.
Cheers.
Thank you, YouTube. Thank you. Hopefully you're subscribed. If right before you take off, give us a quick thumbs up. Appreciate you.
Hey, bye.